And welcome back to the Daily Dose of Dalton podcast. Coming back to you after a 47-day break since the last episode. I know it's been a long time, but there's been a lot to happen. I have a whole little list here. Some events I'll go into detail, some I won't. But just a lot of life has happened since the last time I did this. So let's just not even waste any more time and just jump into it. So, starting back, we're just going to go in chronological order. I think that's the word, chronological. Yeah. Number one, Aiden Fuller. Good friend from high school. You know those friends where you cannot see them for 12 years and you run into them, you're like, oh my gosh, dude, what's up? I haven't seen you in so long. And it's like you hit the ground running without missing a beat, and it's not awkward, it's not weird, but that's kind of how me and Aiden are. I don't talk to him a whole lot, but when we do, it's always very chill. And I know that, I can always just reach out to him whenever. But anyways, not to get all sentimental, but Aiden got drafted by the LA Dodgers. I hate that it was the Dodgers. Wish it would have been the Braves or, anybody but the Dodgers. Or I guess the Cardinals. I think he's a Cardinals fan. But, if there's any any system and farm league that would be the best for a pitcher to go to, it'd probably be the Dodgers. They know how to develop some really good pitchers. And it could be a good situation for him. That's why he just got placed on a roster. I don't know if it's rookie ball or single A or anything like that. But, yeah. It was exciting for him. I photoshopped a picture of him. So here it is of him in a Dodgers uniform that I photoshopped. Be gracious about it. If it sucks, don't tell me. It was only like my second ever photoshopped attempt. And, I don't know. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. I loved it. I'm not going to go into huge in-depth details because I don't want to be one of those nerds who are on the internet who don't shower, who make their whole life about movies and TV shows. I think I just got better things and more productive things to do in my life than talk about that. But thought it was funny. I really enjoyed Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman acting together. I thought that was a funny little combination and duo. Kind of reminds me of me and Jake. I'm obviously Deadpool. Just no explanation needed. And there's no explanation needed for why Jake would be Wolverine. So, if you know, you know. So anyways. Yeah. I thought it was fun. I thought they were able to nicely use cameos and different actors to come in to reprise their roles. I think they did it well. I don't think it was a money grab. I think that, I would love to see, I think they set it up really well for future movies, even though there won't be any more Deadpool movies, which sucks because I love Deadpool, but, it's better they end it now here, let it have a good ending than to make 6 or 7 more movies and they all be subpar or terrible and then just be money grabs. I would hate to see a Fast and Furious situation. Yeah. So, Courtney's car window got smashed on UCA's campus. We think it was the groundskeepers, maybe, shot up a rock with the weed eater or lawnmower, and it just destroyed her window. I'll put a picture up. But, it took 36 hours longer to get fixed than it should have. It was just poor communication. But I won't go down that rabbit hole because I will talk about this, and I got some choice words to say for some of these folks, but I'm going to choose to be nice. What would Jesus do? He wouldn't talk poorly about people. So, long story short, we got it fixed. That's all that matters at the end of the day. We didn't have to pay for it. We went to Memphis to see my family and got to go see where Dad is now working since he's been promoted. Since he's the, lead instructor, head of the instructor, managing instructor. I don't know what his title is. I just know he's in charge of all the instructors and teachers of the MD-11. And so he's in a new managerial position. And I think he's enjoying it. So me and Court and Mom and Kendall went to go see where his new office was, and got to go back in the simulator. And we got to go see Paris and New York and Memphis, and just got to fly a whole bunch of places. But it was cool getting to experience the simulator again. I haven't been in a sim since I was like 10 or 11, I think. I'll put some pictures up of Miss Courtney flying the airplane. Started back at Harding. That's met a lot of new people so far. So there's some new professors, a lot of the old professors, and going back for round 2. I'm going to see how well it turns out this time around. So far, I'm off to a decent start. And also going forward, talking about school, I won't say if I made, whoopsies. I won't say if I made, I won't say, oh my gosh, I made a 94 on a test, or oh, I made a 32 on this test. I'll just say either one of 3 things. I'll say, I did fine, I passed, but I just wanted to do better. Didn't go that well. Because there are some people, and I'm not calling out names, but they like to compare scores, and they like to hold stuff over people's heads. And I just don't like that. Because, like I said, we aren't there to compete against each other. The competing is done. Once we all got accepted into the same school, we weren't competing against each other anymore. And we should be encouraging and helping and trying to lift each other up, not bring each other down just to make ourselves feel superior. And, I mean, it's just tacky. But anyways, yeah. Even going back through the second time, starting back, I mean, it's still a lot of material, still a lot of work to put in. But, it's going to be worth it in the end. I think that it's going to be a challenge for sure. I'm going to get pushed. There's going to be a lot of stressful and sleepless nights, but, I think it's good for the best. I think it'll all work out in the end how it's supposed to, and I'm just going to make the most of the opportunity I have while I have it. So, yeah, but, I mean, it's been fun. I've got to meet a whole lot of new people from this new class and befriended some people. Some of them are even, fans, you would say, of the show, podcast, YouTube series, whatever you want to call it. So shout out to Hayden and Collier and Caleb. Mr. Old Man Caleb. Don't know if he's even going to be able to watch this. I don't know if he knows how to work technology. Because he's like 38, I think, in this new class. But anyways, Pappy is very chill. That's what we call him, Pappy. And I guess shout out to all the OGs too. But these guys are new. They haven't got shouted out yet. And Hayden, I'm doing this episode for you because I was like, it's time to end it. It's time to end the drought and the dry spell and hook up Hayden with an episode. Because he asked me, he said, I need an episode, need a new one for this weekend. And even though it's Sunday, it's still done on the weekend. It'll be published at some point. But, yeah. Just been along the lines of school, just been trying to, start a good foundation this time around. Trying to make sure I'm on top of studying and schoolwork and making sure that I set myself up for success in the future and not like last time where I dug myself into a hole. So trying to be more responsible. It's amazing what being on ADHD meds will do. Good Lord. But anyways, I'm not here to just talk about school the whole time because why would anybody want to hear about that? I'll get back to it a little bit later though. Just like I said, I'm going in chronological order. I taught Regina Yin how to shoot a gun. Some of you know Regina. You love her. she is living in, Jackson, and somebody tried to break into her house at 4:30 in the morning, and she was like, maybe I need to get something to protect myself. What can I get? And so she called, the most amazing marksman and expert and, security-minded person she knew. And they didn't answer the phone, so she hit me up. She's like, hey, you want to teach me how to shoot a firearm? Want to teach me how to protect myself in a situation? Protect me and my sister if somebody comes into her house? And I said, absolutely, I would. So me and Courtney found a time. We went down to the Jackson metro area, and Courtney and we met up with Kendall and Jesse. And, speaking of Jesse, I saw Jesse today at the store. I'll post a picture of me and him there. But yeah, so we met up with those two and Regina, and we all got lunch. And after lunch, me and Regina went to the range out in Flowood, and Courtney, Kendall, and Jesse all went to, what was it? The Renaissance, the shopping mall there in Jackson. Went to like Altered State, American Eagle, Barnes & Nobles, places like that. And Regina, who's never shot a gun, never even held one or seen one in person, went from, I kind of ran down the basics in the car, and then I told her, and I showed her, I shot a couple rounds first, showed her what to do, and, in person, and then she started shooting, and she was like all over the place. And by the end of the day, she was able to get her target down to this size grouping, like the size of a head. The range instructor was like, oh, that's pretty good target. Is that yours? And he's talking to me. And I said, no, that's all her. And he said, no, wow, that's great. Like, that's really good. And then she said, thanks. And she goes, and then I said, well, today's her first time shooting. And he was like, no way. And I said, yeah. And she was like, yeah, first time I've ever held a gun before today. He's like, that's wild. And, then he just started singing her praises. And then he told me that I must be a great teacher. And yeah, I am. What can I say? They say those that can't do, teach. So I must be pretty good if I can teach somebody who's never even seen a firearm in their life how to get their grouping down to the size of a human head from 7 yards away. I say it's pretty good. Especially with the 9mm after training with the 22. So basically, moral of the story is, yeah, Regina did great, and Regina had fun, and now knows how to protect herself and exercise her Second Amendment right. But basically, underneath that moral of the story, I'm awesome. I'm the best there ever was. I'm the greatest. Catch me being a range instructor on the weekends to also get some extra money to help pay off these loans for PT school. So, very excited for Regina. Very excited for her to become a, gun owner and to exercise her Second Amendment right and to officially be an American. So, proud of you, Regina Jen. It was fun. And then that night we went to Jake and Anna's wedding shower. Nothing really that big. I'm just kidding, Jake. I just want to see if you're actually watching or not. But yeah, I went to Jake and Anna's wedding shower. Got to hang out with some folks I haven't seen in a while. Got to hang out with Jeremy Kirstel and his lovely wife, Kelsey, and their baby boy, Everett. I don't know what it was. I think we just got along instantly, though. We just clicked, and he's kind of hung out with me for a little bit. It was great. It was good getting to catch up with them. Got to see Tommy and Alden. And it was fun just getting to celebrate Jake and Anna. Got to see some people who've known Anna for a while, love up on them and give them a good shower. And it was just really sweet, really good, fun. And they get married in like 56 or 57 days. I don't remember for sure, but Jake's freedom is slowly coming to an end. It's ticking down right before us. Poor guy. Poor guy. But, happens to the best of them. Happened to me. Never thought I'd get tied down. I was just so wild before Courtney. She was just able to tie me down. But, yeah. So, excited for that. I got to get my speech finalized and get all these final details of the batch trip solidified. Just trying to get things moved around. And I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. But, obviously, I'm just got to do as much as I can while being, 5 hours away. Or I guess 4.5 now. Maybe. But, yeah. So, with school starting back, I'm trying to put good time into it, but still make sure that I'm focusing on school enough to not have a repeat of last year. But anyways, excited for Jake and Anna, I guess. But anyways, we moved from Bologna. My parents came in on Friday. I guess last week, yeah, or week and a couple of days ago. 2 weeks ago? I don't know. It's been a long time since then. But they came up on Friday, and we finished packing up the house, and me and my dad made like 3 or 4 trips. Hayden came and helped us unload the boxes or furniture at our new place. Shout out to Hayden, even though my dad at one point did say, I wish Hayden was still here when me and him were trying to carry furniture up there. That hurt, but it is what it is. That boy's strong as an ox. So, yeah. So shout out to Hayden for helping us with that. And I guess Andrew also helped too. But he also lives literally 10 feet away. So, don't really think that counts as him driving or going out of his way. But still, I appreciate it. Him and Savannah. Savannah was nice enough to keep us hydrated, get us water. Yeah, but that was a long day. We started at like 8:45 or 9 in the morning, and I think my parents left like 9:30. And jeez, it was a long day. I was sweating, smelled like a goat's rear end. I was exhausted, and it was a long day. But we got it moved in. We got everything set up. I got my new office. Well, it's like a neutral office, but it just has all my stuff up. Courtney says I get this room. She gets the rest of the place to decorate and lay out how she wants. So I might throw in a little video of a tour, but I might not. It just depends on if I'm too lazy to. What else? Oh yeah. And then our very last load we were doing for the day, it just starts pouring. Like storming. It was pitch black outside. The winds were blowing. Rain was hitting. There might have been even a little bit of hail. It was wild. And I was like, this is exactly what I need. I would play a video of me once it started pouring down rain, but I was driving when I took the video, and I don't want to put out any bad influences. That, and I said some they were colorful words, but they weren't nice. Let's just say that. Yeah. But once we finally got moved, I had an anatomy test that Monday. And when we were trying to move, or when we were moving, we stopped for lunch because your boy almost passed out after doing that first drop off with Hayden. So when we were at lunch, I told my parents, I was like, man, I need to study. And my dad was like, oh, we'll get you back soon. Well, we'll try to get this wrapped up so you can go study. I'm like, nah, I'll just do it here. And I started running through all the muscles of the neck with them. And I was showing, I was like, well, here you got this muscle. You have the sternohyoid, and you got the omohyoid, and you got the sternothyroid, thyrohyoid. And then you got the gene, and I was just running through all them, SCM, and then you got your facial muscles, and here's what this does, that, yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, we don't know if any of that's right, but you sounded confident. And test went fine. So, hashtag feeling blessed. Hashtag academic weapon. Can't say the same about patho, though. Patho went fine. I passed. I just wanted to do better. But I was tired. And I'm still tired, honestly. Don't know why I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm probably going to go to bed early tonight so I can actually be good for my quiz on Tuesday and my Fabio test on Friday. But, I was tired. I just mixed up details on patho. And I passed. Considering how I started off last year, a win is a win. We'll just leave it at that. I ain't going to complain about it. I do wish they'd put in grades, though. That is something I do wish. But yeah, so wish they'd put in the grades. But I get it. It's early. Everybody's trying to get settled in and situated into the new school year. Yeah. I've also gone through 2 cadavers. My first cadaver at table 4, gone. The mold got to it. Table 6 had mold, and it's on mold watch. So, don't really know what's going to happen there, but hopefully our cadaver will hold out, and I can go back to my table 4 group. Not that I don't love my table 6 group. I think they're all great, and, they're homies, but, it's just something about that connection with Caleb and Gracie and me, that table 4 trio. But yeah, oh well. Even if we don't, I still like my table 6. And we'll still see each other for TBLs. Another reason I was so tired for the patho exam, and preface, I'm not blaming Zoe. I'm not. I promise. But Zoe thought she had an air tag. I still don't know if the situation even got settled, but thought there was an air tag on her car because her phone kept getting readings for the last 2 days. Oh, there's an air tag. There's an air tag. So she was like, somebody air tagged my car. So me, Zoe, and Cassidy went to the police station. And we're there for an hour and a half looking for this tag. And we could not find it. And I'm not going to tell you how the story ends because that's Zoe's story to tell. Or Cassidy's. Because after Cassidy was all up under that vehicle, getting greasy and almost passing out and just, climbing all up over that car trying to find this air tag, and we couldn't find it. I think it's Cassidy's turn to tell the story. Anyway, speaking of Cassidy, I don't know why I said that, but it's not Cassidy. I did meet a foreign man from the UK, and apparently all British people don't speak like Harry Styles, or I don't know, what's another English person? Harry Potter, or Hermione Granger. Apparently they all have different accents. I didn't know that. But anyways, I met a foreign man. I thought he was from Scotland. And then I saw he had a red beard, and I said, oh, he must be from Ireland. And then he's not. He is from Liverpool, which is wild to me because, thinking America, oh, well, you got like Alabama accents, and then Mississippi, Arkansas, like everybody kind of sounds the same in the South. And then, you got your northern Midwest states, and they all kind of sound, the same. I don't even want to try my accents because if it's not good, I don't want to get made fun of. But, you got your Hicks, you got your down south, you got, your old son going up there to the liquor store with your 5 bowls of boiling oil. You got those people, and you got your Minnesotas. You got people from Minnesota who talk like this, and you're having a real good time, man. They kind of sound like that, almost Canadian. And then you've got your out west bros and your southwest, and they kind of talk like this, yeah, and they do that. And then you've got your Boston. You got Boston, and they lock the car down at the harbor, and then you've got, you have to go miles and hundreds of miles to hear a different accent. And apparently in the UK, you only have to go 10 minutes down the road and hear somebody who sounds completely different than you, which just baffles me. And I also found out that they don't use kilometers in England. They use miles per hour. So I can't even make those jokes, which sucks. But anyways, yeah. So this foreigner, he seems all right. Seems chill. I don't know for sure though, because he is a footballer. See, he's already infiltrated my mind, putting in these crazy foreign concepts. I just called soccer football. He's a soccer player. And so, I don't really know. Jury's still out. I'm leaning more towards he's chill side. Maybe give him that honorary American pass. But then again, he does play soccer. And he is from the motherland. Isn't that the motherland? England? I don't know, but anyways, he's an interesting fella. We'll just say that. Yeah, so this is the part where I'm going to talk about sports. And for no reason whatsoever, here is a random highlight film I found out on the internet for no reason. So, yeah, I'll be right back. All right, and now we're back to sports. Hello, Courtney. I see you out there. Courtney's lighting a candle. Hang on, let me pull up. Number one things I want to talk about in sports. I am PO'd, hombre. I am so mad. I only have a 4% chance to win my fantasy game right now because my first pick of the draft for this Harding draft, I was in between. I could have either had Saquon Barkley, who's now on the Eagles, or Jonathan Taylor. And I said, I'm not going to do Saquon Barkley. He's on the Eagles. If they get down to the one, they're going to do a tush push. Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy to get those points, get those touchdowns. So I was like, nah, not doing it. And also, they had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And A.J. Brown, kind of cried last year when he wasn't getting enough touches. So I was like, I want to go for it. Like, I'm just going to go get Jonathan Taylor. He's back this year. Anthony Richardson is back. They're going to rely on him. No. Saquon Barkley, I play him this first game, 33.2 points. Jonathan Taylor only got me 10. Marvin Harrison Jr. only got me 1.4 points. Jake Ferguson only has 3.3. Ladd McConkey has 5. Pittsburgh defense got me 13 points, so shout out Steeler Nation. Steeler Nation, let's ride. Or to be, let's weld. But yeah. It's a tough day. Tough day to be a part of my fantasy team. But yeah. Also, the NFL, this new kickoff rule is stupid. I hate it. It's just stupid. Also, the Guardian caps were stupid. I get they want to be safe, but come on now, man. It's a little ridiculous at this point. Let me check the standings real quick. Because I don't even want to talk about the MLB. The Braves, it's been such a rough year for the Braves. Let's see, we are, I want to say like fourth in our, no, we're third in our division, but we're tied with the Mets for the 2 seed right there in our division, and we also we got the last spot of the wild card series. But I mean, even if we get to the wild card series, we have like all of our guys are hurt. Right? We have our pitchers, we have that rotation, but I mean, Ozzy's out, Austin's out, Acuna's out. I'm trying to remember who all is injured. Whit Merrifield, our backup second baseman, is out. Like, what are we even supposed to do? I mean, it's just Minter's out. He's gone for the year. Where's my IR? Give me my IR. It's been a rough year to be a fan of the Braves, and we're still doing good. We're only 7 games behind the Phillies, who have a full roster. So I consider that a win. Well, I guess kind of a win, but yeah, the Braves only have 3 infielders on their roster right now. Wild. Man, sucks, but even just making the playoffs this year alone will be huge. So can't complain too much about that. I'm trying to think of what else happened in sports. College football's back. That's huge. It's a big deal. I'm so excited. The only bad thing is those schools also starting back. So having to, moderate between watching college football and studying for school, I think what's going to win 9 times out of 10. So, anyways, let's talk about Alabama football. First, though, Michigan, Texas yesterday. Michigan, bunch of frauds. Don't put them in my top 25 again. Don't do that. No, absolutely not. Notre Dame, why do y'all fall for that crap every year? Everybody's like, Notre Dame's going to be awesome. Notre Dame is great. Notre Dame's going to be in the play. Shut up. Notre Dame does the same thing every year. They get overhyped. They're like, we got a new quarterback. We got a new coach. We've got this, that, and the third. We're going to win the national championship. No, you just lost to NIU. Who? Exactly. Let's see who else. Got to pull up these standings. Ohio State can't do anything. Georgia on a weak schedule, but I am scared to play them in a couple weeks. Ole Miss has no business being in the top 10. And Jake, I love you, but it's right. You know that I am factual. Who have you played? Nobody. You aren't going to play anybody either. Where's this? Let me pull up this schedule because it's ridiculous. I know Alabama's had 2 easier games recently, but football, SEC, Arkansas almost got the win. Gosh, that was heartbreaking. Georgia played Tennessee Tech. Let's hit Georgia first. They had Clemson, who Clemson's a bunch of bums anyways. They suck. Tennessee Tech, that Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, then they got Texas. Florida, Ole Miss, who hasn't played anybody, UMass, and Georgia Tech, and they play Tennessee too. But, still, that's weak, but it's still not nearly as weak as Ole Miss's schedule. Because I saw it and I was flabbergasted. I said, there's no shot that's actually real. Furman, their first game. MTSU, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, and then they only got a couple, and then how... What? Okay, let's see. Kentucky, who just lost to South Carolina. South Carolina's been terrible. Then they play South Carolina. Then they're going to play LSU. And then Oklahoma, who barely beat Houston. And then Arkansas, who we all know Arkansas is going to fall apart midseason anyways. Florida, who's been bums. They have Georgia at Ole Miss. Maybe they actually have a shot for that one. And then Mississippi State, who... Mississippi State's just happy to be there at this point. But, yeah. Now I want to see the top 25. Who's all in the top 25? Penn State, I don't know why people still believe the Penn State hype happens every year. Miami, USC. If they're not in the SEC, they shouldn't be on here. I'm just going to say that. I don't know how Michigan's still even in the top 25. Notre Dame definitely shouldn't be in the top 25. Clemson is still in the top 25? What? They did not put NIU in the top 25 just because they beat Notre Dame. That's ridiculous. And Boston College? Huh. Crazy. Nebraska probably should be there. They beat Colorado like a redheaded stepchild. Oklahoma State went up after barely beating Arkansas. That's a little questionable. Let's just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the top 7 teams and top 10 are all SEC teams because SEC runs college football. Yeah, but now let's get back to it. Let's talk about Alabama. So Roll Tide first off. First week, I know it was against Western Kentucky, but I think it was the best I've seen Alabama look in football on an opening game since they played USC back in like 2015 or 2016 when Jalen first got there, Jalen Hurts. And defense was flying to the ball. Offense looked smooth. They're running hard, running downhill. And I thought they looked good. But they fooled me because they came out against freaking USF, who gave us troubles last year, and they couldn't do crap about it. They just let this quarterback run all over them. They couldn't hold on to the ball. It was very sloppy. And the first half, I was like, okay, maybe the offense needs to get settled in. But it was like penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. I wonder if I can Google it up. At one point during the third quarter, there was like 20 flags thrown. It was kind of crazy. They threw 20 flags on Alabama. No, not Alabama. They threw 20 flags combined in the third quarter. Let's see. This says they had 13 penalties for 120 yards, and they threw the ball or turned the ball over 3 times. And the offensive line, I know Caden Proctor's out, but one guy shouldn't make up the whole O-line. But the right tackle, number 75, can't even remember his name because he pissed me off so bad. Had I think we had like 2 touchdowns that got called back because of him. And then finally, DeBoer was just like, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to put in the guy who's not 100% and injured, and we're going to put him at right tackle because this guy's too much of a liability. And what do you know? We score like 2 plays later. And they kept running the ball to the right side, and they kept scoring. And they're able to come back and score. This final score was 42-16, but me and Courtney were watching. It was in the fourth quarter. Milrow fumbled the ball, or it was a bad snap at like the 2-yard line. And so it was 21-16, and then with like 7 minutes left, and then the final score was 42-16. And I guess what I like more about DeBoer than Saban is if that was Saban and they got the ball back and it's 21-16, Saban's going to run the ball and he's going to tell his players to take a knee or do whatever. He's not going to run up the score. DeBoer, there was still like a minute, 30 seconds left on the clock and had like a 30-yard touchdown run. And that's important because at the end of the season, if Alabama has 2 losses and, another team has 1 and this other team's only won their games by a hair, and then they look back at all the scores like, oh, well, look at all these, big wins, that's going to give Alabama the edge to get into the playoffs. So I'm for it. And also, I was very excited to see DeBoer in action because he has that fiery, like, get in your butt energy that Saban had and, will chew somebody out for screwing up. I saw that multiple times over the last 2 games. And when they were running out of the tunnel for the first game, they're like, Coach, tell us, how do you feel? You're going in to coach your first regular season game as a Crimson Tide's new head coach. How do you feel? He's like, I don't care. I'm just here to watch these guys hit a dude in the mouth. I just want to watch them run through a guy, and we're just going to run the ball down their throats. That's what I want to see because I don't care about this. And I was like, yeah, that's what we need. We need that energy back. But, yeah, overall, I think also those refs were kind of on some crap last night. I know everybody's always like, Bama pays the refs. Saban paid the refs. Well, there was 13 flags thrown against us last night. Multiple of them cost touchdowns and points. And they ejected Justin Jefferson, not the Vikings receiver. They ejected our guy on a solid hard hit. But they won't eject the guy who takes a dive at Milroe's knees, and they call it intentional grounding on the same play where the ball lands at a receiver's feet. What? And then they had a guy, number 22 on USF, Tennessee transfer. He literally there was like 3 plays in a row where he tried to put his helmet in the guy's knees, whoever was running the ball. I thought that was a little ridiculous, but anyways, I think they'll bounce back next week. I think they'll find their groove. They need to before they go to Georgia. I think, are they at Georgia or are they in Tuscaloosa? There we go. They need to figure out for September 28th. That is all I'll say. Yeah, they're in Tuscaloosa. Because Georgia will whip us if they play like they did against USF tonight. Got to figure out the run game, figure out the pass game earlier than they did. Thank goodness for Ron Williams. That dude is a stud. Like, he's 17 years old going out against these 21, 22-year-olds and making them look like freaking high schoolers. That's absurd how good he is. He's going to be good for the next couple of years. I just hope we don't lose him to that portal. But, yeah. I mean, my heart rate got up pretty high last night. My blood pressure went about through the roof. But a win is a win, even if it was a struggle win. And I'll take it. So, that's really all I got today. I know there was a lot of information, and it was kind of choppy. And, I mean, I'm kind of mellowed out right now. I'm tired. And there was a lot of information to cover. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, I don't care. Stop watching. I do this for the fans. I do this for all of my 16 subscribers. Okay, 15, because one of them is in fact me. Yeah, so anyways, I'll see you guys next time.